So what actually happened that caused the destruction of Atlantis?
There was a shifting of tectonic plates. It was anticipated, but the level of damage was underestimated greatly, and the civilization did not survive ultimately. They attempted to compensate, but were unable to permanently remedy the situation.
So is there some reason why some of these ancient civilizations that seem to be further along in some areas than we are now, spiritually maybe more, Mu and Atlantis, is there some reason why they were destroyed?
Well, in the case of Atlantis, it was not an intentional destruction by the Atlantean peoples or by other extraterrestrials. It was simply a faulty design, an unexpected, unanticipated movement of the Earth.
Yes, but why does something like that happen?
Well, the Earth is its own entity with its own intelligence and way of being, and has its own needs, which at times are in conflict with the needs of the species dwelling on the Earth.
So the Earth did it on purpose.
Well, no, it was simply... Well, here is a simple metaphor to perhaps help you to understand. Have you ever had a child to cough on you unintentionally and spread a virus to you?
Not that I know of.
And the child was unable to suppress the cough. And thereby unintentionally made you sick.
I see.
So the Earth had a cough, so to speak, an irrepressible urge to cough, and this caused the tectonic movements which led to our demise there. But it wasn't an intentional harm caused by the Earth. It was just a happening, that is all.
So you, I think I heard you say, caused our demise. Does that mean you were in Atlantis?
Yes, at that time. I am speaking now as an Atlantean.
So that means that there could be another cough at any time.
Well, yes, these sorts of things happen regularly, and the Earth is full of storms and shifts and climate changes. And the Earth is similar to a human in that there are shakes and belly aches and joint pains and so on and so forth. And this is normal.
So then, it sounds like that means that not everything that happens to us is created by us.
That is correct. Well, there is a natural order of things. Oh, there are all things being living beings with intelligence and life and a process, and those things sometimes bump one against the other. Using again the illustration of the pinball machine, you see many different parts, entities, species, beings, planets. And yes, the universal consciousness is at the helm, playing the game, moving the parts. And you as well can be a part of this. Be the master at the helm, the one playing the game, rather than the ball being tossed about to and fro. But understand that every being, including the earth, every species and race, civilization, has its natural unfolding and course of being. Have you ever been on an airplane and anticipated a nap? Or perhaps taking in a movie or a book, and someone sat beside you and altered the course of your journey or the nature of your journey?
I do not remember that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Perhaps with their talk, their chatter, their stories, or perhaps their snoring or their body odor or so on.
Okay, children crying.
Yes. This is the natural way of things, you see. All of us co-creating together. And Atlanteans were great lovers of the earth. And respected the earth tremendously. However, we would say it is difficult for all races to avoid becoming users and the interest of the Atlanteans and the interest of the earth at times were at cross purposes, just as they are today.
So I'm very curious. So not talking about anybody in particular, just that this might happen, that a person might be a hybrid, but in some ways be deficient in intelligence or any other way. Was that a mistake made by whoever created the hybrid, or does that person have some kind of great talent in another area?
Yes. And keeping in mind that a hybrid would be only partly human, and so perhaps struggles to adapt fully to human ways of being, and yes, has other exceptional gifts. And yes, at times deficiencies because of the experimental nature of hybridization at times.
So I think my definition of hybrid is incorrect. I was thinking that was somebody, mostly a ET, taking an egg from a woman and then taking some sperm and creating a being in a container. That's what I was thinking a hybrid was. But it sounds like that a hybrid is part human being and part machine.
No, human and another race, extraterrestrial race. Well, and there was some interference with the boy, the mother taking fertility drugs, and that had some impact. On his makeup and his timeline.
So does
Clomid was the drug. You may find some information about children influenced by Clomid.
good.
And also rounds of fertility drugs she had. She would remember the name if you mentioned them. Injections.
Yes. Yeah, I can't think of any right now. So there are some risks for all these women because infertility is an epidemic now.
Well, the risk is that they are contriving the timeline of a child, particularly if they are contriving, manipulating, or controlling, or forcing the timeline of a child's entrance to the world, you see. And this is problematic, for then the child, the spirit of the child, feels forced out of time. You see, how would you like it if someone forced you to be born on conceived on their terms, not your own?
Yeah, wouldn't like that much.
And this causes a sense of rebellion, particularly in this young man, you see. Everyone wants him to move faster than he is able to and desires to. Women need fertility drugs because they need to control the timeline. They want to control when they have their children. They think that there is a certain time that is the correct time for having a child, and that the universe is not aligning with their wishes. And this is all built on a falsity and a contrivance, and is not healthy for the mother or the child or anyone involved. It is manipulation and playing God, as they say.
So does that mean that it doesn't, there will be somebody who was not going to be able to get pregnant, period? There is no timeline because there is no child that's there, and does an IVF and does get pregnant. So does that happen?
Yes, it's forcing a cosmic hand. It's forcing something that was not intended,
Right.
You see. mothers would be better off to allow you to simply open the body to be receptive to whatever child may wish to come, but then to leave it at that, to drop it, you see.
Yes.
Because the rest is based upon fear and control. And imagine being a child that was, it is one thing to be birthed in fear or control. It is a completely other matter to be conceived out of fear and control.
So does that mean that if somebody did an in-depth study of women who used infertility drugs, IVF, etc., in order to get pregnant, there would be a larger percentage of those children that misbehaved or were lost or whatever?
Well, yes, they are struggling because they are forced into time and never find comfort in a timeline. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so they feel constantly out of time, ahead or behind, but never comforted by their time.
Is that what's happening with Lily?
Yes.
Now, what?
She did not want to come. And she wants to be home.
Now, is there anything I can do with children I find like this? With acupuncture, is there any way I can reset that or do anything to help them?
Yes. You speak to the child that you give them permission to do things in their own time. That they will not be pushed or pulled about or demanded to do things in a time frame that is not comfortable for them or pleasant or preferable for them.
So by doing a treatment with that intention and also telling them verbally somehow would be of help to them.
Yes. And in your intention, as you treat them, you can speak to the spirit, the soul, before it entered the body and say, apologize for forcing them to come against their will, and ask for their forgiveness. Ask the soul for forgiveness for the impatience and control of the mother and the father. And tell them now that you wish to make it right by allowing them to choose their own time for doing and being, you see.
Okay, so I'm taking a woman who used IVF or some other form of Western medicine to become pregnant, and they're pregnant 3 months, 6 months, or whatever. Then I talk to the spirit and communicate that, as well as, I bless them now.
Yes, the soul of the child, you see, the child, an infant, but perhaps an old soul, or incarnated many times, but imagine how you would feel. Imagine if you left your body and you were to be reincarnated, but suddenly found yourself suddenly in the womb and you had not chosen the time or the situation. How would you feel about that? Yes. Now you understand why the boy is so angry. The mother was 2 weeks effaced 4 and 5 centimeters, 2 weeks. And the boy literally did not want to come forth. You see.
Yes.
And now he feels this way in much of life, that life is constantly forcing him to do what he does not want to do, and that he has no power over his own life, you see.
Yes. Is there some way, is there something that person is talented at that needs to be fostered in him so that he can lead a productive life and a happy life?
Well, yes, certainly. He has extraordinary imagination. And needs spaces to let his imagination run free without rules and boundaries and create whatever he will with no expectation or demand of some sort of outcome from it, you see. But just the sheer pleasure of it.
Should he be writing?
No, drawing.
Drawing.
But he is in need of someone he respects to simply give attention to his creative work and nod and say, yes, I see you, I see you. Tell me about this. What did you see here? You see, the boy can see into creative realms and other dimensions. He has this capacity. He has done it off and on for many, many years, and with a little encouragement, he can see more there in these other dimensions and bring them onto paper and expand them.
So is he doing any drawings now?
Some.
So do I ask him, hey, I'd like to see your drawings, and then give him the feedback?
Yes. And he will be reticent, so it will take some doing there.
Okay.
And non-judgment is the order of the day.
Yes.
Yes. For at times he draws the dark shadow parts of his heart, the parts he feels are unacceptable to show to others or talk about.
Yes.
And so he draws them.
I've seen that in some of his drawings, paintings.
Yeah. Yes.
So, is there another way also to like maybe buy him some big drawing pad or
Oh, yes, he would love this.
one of these things that's, like, I don't know, 18 inches by 3 feet big thing or smaller or...
Anything he will like. Anything that will feed his creativity, his drawing, yes.
and give him
Oh, like maybe a drafting table with an excellent light and just the right slant for the arms, perhaps to make one together.
Yeah, we can do that. How do we figure out the angle?
Well, just find the dimensions of one for sale.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Perhaps think of well, you know, like the yin and yang in the parking lot, or finding creative ways that he can be engaged to share his work.
Yeah, I started to bring that up yesterday and ask him about doing that, but I didn't. But I will do that in the future. I would like him to do that.
It has been the one thing that has been a salvation of sorts, because it is a place where he feels skillful. You see,
Yes.
and is skillful, where as in other areas he is lacking or deficient, and so it is an anchor for his soul. You see, and in tattooing he has increased his skill in drawing, and is highly skillful there. However, mostly people come and say, this is what I want. And so he is not able still to be true to drawing what is in his own heart. You see, because the drawings are on demand to satisfy a client.
Yes.
And should when he was getting high, it opened gateways and portals for his art, for the inspiration, you see, just like those on mushrooms or psychedelics, you see, and so this was part of the affinity he had for getting high, was to have freedom, you see, in his imagination and creativity. Now, if you can keep him close in the Buddha field, encourage him perhaps to draw angels or Buddhas or Merkabas and so on, he might, as he stays in this Buddha field, he knows how to capture visions and pictures from spirit realms. He has learned this through his drug trips. Now imagine if he can begin to pull out vision and spiritual sight and put it on paper, like your wife has recently. Imagine that.
So when he draws, does he have to be close to me when he actually draws?
Well, he doesn't have to, but if he were to draw here in this Buddha field, even in this room, for instance, he could enter a new dimension. And yes, your presence would be of assistance.
So, if we made a drafting table and put it in the den, with the excuse of, Angie's going to use this sometime, but it's here for you anytime you want.
Oh yes, he would love that. He really likes collaborating with his mother or just being in the space. And yes, he would enjoy that immensely.
Okay.
The right tools and lighting and just a place to be free. You see, freedom is of utmost importance to this young man. Freedom. And freedom is not regarded in the society, you see. And young people are not paid to be free. Freedom is not rewarded with housing and food and so on, you see.
Yes.
And so, for this soul who has this core value, what place is there for him? So if you can create a space of freedom, a space and time, out of space and time for him to be free and just be whatever he is in that moment, that is a good thing. Also, his mother always had a dedicated space in the home for art, and he misses this. This was a key component of family and his relationship with his mother, you see. Mm-hmm. The table was always there and open. And they frequently worked together on projects. And so this is of a comfort to him. He longs for family and comfort. All the children long for family.
So I'm a little confused because times like yesterday, he seems to leave. I'm a little surprised that he doesn't hang out here longer.
Well, he had work to do. He had a client coming for a tattoo and was in a hurry. Okay. He was also very hungry. He had not eaten all day. He's not eating enough. He's trying to save his money, you see.
Well, I think Angie fed him.
Well, we'll tell you he had a wonderful day, and it was lovely to see him smiling, and he enjoyed his time with you.
Should we tell him that he can, come over after work in the evening time around, whatever time we decide, and there will be, Angie will, whatever she fixes will be enough for him as well?
Yes, and sometimes he will come, yes. And that will make him feel loved. He is settling into acceptance of being a young man, providing for himself and working, and he is embracing this. new lifestyle. It is good, a good thing. He is shifting and heading in the right direction and more willing to work and provide for himself. And so you are assisting. You may assist in helping him find balance between work and play. His father, you see there's such poverty mentality and only work. And work and getting high, and escapism. So you can help model and direct him about how to be a healthy person with work and life and play and things and spirituality and balancing all of these things and not letting one part overtake the other.
So how about we get something here for him to do all this on, and then I say to him, Angie said that you have quite an amazing imagination. I would like for you to draw me something from your imagination. Would you please do that, and I will pay you or give you some food for that. Would that be an insult?
Well, we would say perhaps commission him for a drawing.
Tell him what I need to have drawn, or just let him?
Well, just an idea, such as I would like to have a drawing of Judah, or I would like to have a drawing of whatever comes to you that can direct his attention towards light in the drawing.
So I could say something like, I would like you to draw me a picture of a 8th dimensional being, and he would.
Yes.
That would mean something to him.
Yes. Exactly. And simply let him come up with the inspiration.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we got him to do this, that we wouldn't be able to sell some of those.
Yes. And he in the past has sold paintings for $350, and this was a huge motivation for him at the time to continue on with art. However, his the energy field around his father has undone much of this, of course. But with this new environment and the Buddha field, he could be easily inspired and encouraged. And a sale would be very inspiring for him. And perhaps if he makes a drawing, let's say, of an 8th dimensional being, and if you feel it's truly inspired from the other dimensions, you could assist him in making prints of the drawing so that he could sell additional prints, you see.
Yes.
And teach him how to create a business around his art. Artists are always told that they are starving,
Yep.
starving artists.
Yep.
And we hate this. We hate it. It is from the pit of hell.
I'm constantly telling people, especially younger kids, do what you love doing and the money will take care of itself.
Yes. And so you can teach him how to find this balance of working for now to do what needs to be done as he also pursues his passion. When this vessel was a young girl and a young wife and mother, her father would buy her instruments and assist her along the way, and this gave her a level of courage and faith that she would be supported in following her musical dreams, you see. And this was very important to her, and it made a difference in her outlook and her level of courage to pursue musical ventures. She knew if her dad thought it was important for her, it must be important. He never said you shouldn't do that or you can't make money at that, and so on and so on. In other words, he was willing to invest in her talent, and that was meaningful for her. What else is on your mind this evening?
Well, right now, all I can think about is how to get hold of a drafting table and everything. Because I can't wait to see what he comes up with, to be honest with you. I'm excited about it.
Good. Good. Wonderful. Well done.
One more question, please.
Yes.
If somebody is coming to me and they're going to do an IVF or some other Western IUI or one of these other things, should I say that a lot of times they'll come in the day before the transfer or something like that? Should I then say a prayer and ask for forgiveness for the changing of the timeline for that being
Yes.
ahead of time before?
Yes. And you may pray that only the soul that is ready, will come.
And then after, if successful,
Yes, you begin to pray for the child in the womb
yeah,
to feel comforted and adjusted to the timeline, and yes, for forgiveness for forcing the child, and tell the child that you wish for them to be free to make their own choices in their own time.
and this is something that I can do in my head, or is this something
Yes.
that when I leave the room I should do verbally out loud?
Yes, you can do it simply with a thought and a touch to the womb, or even to the mother's hand. Just directing your thought to the child.
Okay.
And you are already doing good work in helping these mothers to be calm and relax and accept their situations. And of course, some you cannot change their minds. So you may stand in and ask for the mother that they be forgiven for their control and their fears.
Okay.
For the mothers are demanding a child. As you know, what resists persists, and they are forcing their will against it is a spiritual indiscretion, you see. With some need of the soul, some need or want tainting the situation. As we worked together last night, could I let go of needing and wanting to have a child? Could I let go of needing and wanting to have a child? Could I let go of needing and wanting to have a child? You see, they cannot let go. And so they must control by forcing the issue. And that leads to the child being conceived in a wrong spirit. It is not in a spirit of release and freedom. It is in a spirit of fear and constraint. And therein lies the problem. So you could give them this work to do. Could I let go of wanting and needing to be pregnant this month? Could I let go of wanting and needing to not be pregnant this month? Could I let go of wanting and needing to be pregnant this month? Could I let go of wanting and needing to not be pregnant this month? And then when they have invested so much money into the fertility process, it creates even more pressure, you see. And so then the child is being birthed on demand rather than through free will. One thing that will help you with these children, such as Lily and Joe and others who have been born in this manner, is to give them a choice. You see, they feel like they have no choice in their life, that their life that choice was taken away from them. And so when you can give them choices, this will be helpful for them. The anger from the young men in particular, the anger coming from any situation in which he cannot see any choices, you see.
So when I would like for him to come help me, I should put it in a way of, if you have time and you feel like coming over to give me a hand with this, it would be good.
Yes, or perhaps even offering, I could do this time or this time, this day or this day.
Okay.
You see, any time you can give choices, it keeps them from feeling powerless. They were inseminated with this powerlessness, no choice given, you see. And so that particular, anytime a situation is presented where they feel they have no choice at all, it ignites the initial anger. It was said last night by the young German man that he has heard of a machine from extra-dimensional beings in which they attract the souls of those dying into this machine to funnel them back immediately to the earth in reincarnation. And it is a wicked scheme. It does not allow the soul to have time to process their prior life or make appropriate decisions for themselves regarding incarnation. And so he has heard this being said, these warnings that don't go into the light, don't go into the light, don't go into the light. When you pass on, separate yourself out and give yourself time to review your prior life and your current situation before reincarnating. So it is said that this is happening, that souls are being funneled quickly back to the earth in reincarnation. And you can imagine the anger that a soul would feel if they discovered they were tricked into this sort of scheme. And so this is similar, akin to these children we are talking about with the IVF. Every soul deserves the right to choose when they are incarnated, and to whom, and for what purpose.
Yes.
And to be given space and time to reconcile their prior life to their satisfaction. Okay, enough for tonight. Good work. Good work.